Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We've made it to episode 20 of the Hot Tag, and it's great. We're back outside. I love it. Out in the. It is. It's nice. New York City. I love it.
Yeah, we're out in the wild of. And there go my notes.
And look at it. See, we're kicking it off. Look at it. It's a party.
Start.
Uncle Steven's sexy new hair.
Thank you. I'm in the house. Very excited. As always, that's actually should be like a trademark. Very excited as always, trademark. And we're here to talk all kinds of wrestling, and I'm very happy to be with AJ Orsini, AJ Pan. Introduce this man.
Yeah, this is actually your first time working together, AJ Pan, Uncle Steven, and AJ Orsini. So this is the first.
I feel a little left out. Everybody here has cool hair now, so I had to compensate with the hat. I got a cool hat. Other than that, though, we're good.
There you go. You're working. And next time we'll get you a Vegas Fuel as well.
Definitely want to give a huge shout out to Vegas Fuel. Guys, if you have not tried this, please check it out. It's absolutely delicious.
It is.
It's like Kool-Aid.
And it's not just product placement. So
yeah, exactly. It's the best energy drink I've ever drank. So cheers to you guys. I can actually have it with the meal, so thank you, Vegas Fuel.
So while we're here now, let's kick things off. Big week in wrestling. Let's kick off, of course, our new Hot Topics edition. WWE this week. We could start off on last Thursday. We'll build it up since we're going from the pay-per-view. SmackDown this past week. Very interesting events leading into Battleground, the final go-home edition, if you will. Sort of one of my highlights of that was Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. Their feud has been done, I think, very well as of late.
Everybody's highlight for the last 3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, I gotta applaud WWE for the way they're building that angle up, especially since you have Dean Ambrose, who's the lunatic fringe, and who's complete antithesis. That's my English major. I work there. Thank you, Mom. And the complete antithesis of Seth Rollins, who's more now the corporate figure and more trying to be the golden boy of the WWE. It's a nice contrast and something that I know indie fans can very much applaud, considering both Dean Ambrose, formerly Moxley, Tyler Black, who is now Seth Rollins, can absolutely appreciate.
Yeah, I agree. It's been, and they, a lot of people, with them, you always get worried what's going to happen to our favorite indie guys. Yes. And they've actually been placed on a good role in the in a main event picture. I mean, yeah, Tyler Black, a.k.a. Seth Rollins, right alongside Triple H, and Dean Ambrose has not been buried yet. So I'm happy right now. I want to jump to a quick second to that Monday's Raw. That beatdown was priceless, and I love the way they gave Ambrose the line, and they kept it in. That's all you got? That made him look badass. I'm happy they gave that to him.
But I think everybody was under the impression that when the Shield broke up, Ambrose was going to be the surefire heel coming out of that group. And you didn't get what you wanted, but you're still loving it, aren't you?
No, I agree. Honestly, of the 3 members of the Shield, I thought that Seth Rollins would have been placed in the worst position. And they actually gave him the position that most belongs to him, in my opinion, is that it gets to accentuate him in a much better light. Because Dean Ambrose, people are a fan of this guy. He cuts excellent promos. Roman Reigns, obviously a powerhouse. They're going to push him to the stars. So I was more worried for both Ambrose and Rollins, considering Reigns was definitely going to have a very good singles tenure, which we've been seeing. And I agree. I like the writing and the direction they're taking with it.
What about Roman Reigns? What about the directions? Immediately in the main event picture, too soon? Not soon enough? I mean, what are you guys thinking about that?
I think it's the perfect time because it's a stage with the WWE when everybody's tired of seeing Cena, Orton, and the same old guys. So Roman Reigns is a fresh character, and the people want to get behind him.
The old copy and paste theory?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I gotta say, I do appreciate seeing Roman Reigns in there. And one thing I do applaud, I usually talk to other colleagues about this, is that in my dream roster, if I had my own promotion, I would culminate a roster that was a nice breed of new faces, talented veterans that still can go, and fresh faces. And that's one thing I do like about the WWE roster currently, is that we have a lot of new fresh faces, like your Ambroses, your Pages, your Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, etc. Yet you have the guys that still can go. You have your Cenas, your Randy Ortons, your Kanes, and it's a nice mixture instead of having it just pertain to one side of it where it's just legends like a certain other company that we'll discuss later. I like the roster, the actual building of multiple facets. I like it personally. I think they're doing a great job.
Well, speaking of moments that happened on SmackDown that have been happening the last couple of weeks that I've been a big fan of course, my main man, Stardust. The Dust Brothers, or the Team Goldie Star, what do you call these guys?
The Dusts? Yeah, I don't know.
The Dust. The Dust. That's it.
They are. Yeah, Cody is an MVP of WWE. He's been doing a lot of great, phenomenal stuff. He's been carrying everything they gave him, and he's hit a home run with Stardust.
They've given him the mask, they've given him paper bags, they have given him a really long leather overcoat, they've given him every goofy thing you can give him, and the guy always shows up and does his job. I love Stardust.
Absolutely. Honestly, I was very skeptical when I first saw it, and I give all the credit in the world to Cody and Goldust as well, because they're making that very entertaining. It's so strange, it's so out there that they make it work, and it's very impressive considering Stardust legitimately came out of nowhere. So I applaud it, and I actually very much look forward. I'm glad they gave him a story, because instead of just throwing him out there, which is what they kind of initially did, they actually are building him up, giving a storyline, and I can appreciate that.
So now let's talk a little bit about Battleground. Any highlights for you guys? I'm going to start off with mine. Actually, Usos against the Wyatt family. Fantastic opener. These guys hit a home run whenever they're out there. And besides that, AJ Lee against Paige was another phenomenal match. The girls, and the notes got flying. I love that. It's hardcore right now.
Good thing we have these
yes.
in our head.
So those are my two highlights of the event.
I was just going to say, it would be a little weird if an AJ didn't give a fellow AJ props. Oh. So props to AJ Lee, from one AJ and another AJ to yet another AJ. It's a lot of AJ.
Happy when she came back.
Yes, a lot of AJs. But in any case, I actually very much enjoyed Battleground. Honestly, I do co-host and I host another show, The Mixer, where, cheap plug. But regardless, I have to mention, WWE Network has been fantastic. I'm a huge fan of it, and they don't even pay me, obviously. I would love to be working there. But in any case, they don't pay me. I very much feel like everyone should join it. It's very awesome. In my opinion, the network pay-per-views, which was from WrestleMania on, have been stellar. Honestly, Battleground was a great show, top to bottom. Certain people I would have liked to have seen win, like actually all the Wyatt family members, I would like to see them have come out with victories. But I gotta say, top to bottom, that show at Battleground had everything. You had backstage brawls, you had vignettes, you had tag matches, you had battle royals, you had awesome four-way main event. I'm very much impressed by Battleground.
I'm going to say something right now that's probably going to get a whole lot of heat from me, but what you just mentioned earlier about AJ Lee and Paige, we've had conversations about this privately. I don't get it when it comes to Paige. I don't understand at all what the attraction
British worker.
Because we've never heard women scream before. That's a completely original gimmick. Her wrestling ability is great. Her wrestling ability. Keep it PG.
Very PG rated.
Great wrestling ability. She's a fantastic wrestler. When she gets on the microphone, I want to slip my wrist. I don't understand. I don't understand the attraction.
You know what?
Good, deserves to be on the roster. But when she was on NXT, people were making it sound like the minute she hit television, there was going to be sold out arenas everywhere. The pay-per-view buy rates were going to double. She was the savior of the WWE the way she was getting pushed. Now she's on Raw, and even the people running the show are like,
I mean, I think they put her in a position where she'll be able to generate. She's still very young. I believe she's only 21 years old.
Giving her the belt the first night didn't help her case at all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was more to see AJ Lee go on and do her thing because she needed some time off to get married, and which is respectable. I'm not denying that. But in any case, I think they put her in a spot where, AJ Lee's now a veteran. She'll be able to, rub her up, because AJ Lee's very talented, and I've seen her coming up from all the way from New Jersey till now. Very impressive seeing her go and move up to WWE, and I think she's in a spot where she'll be able to learn a lot. Paige, that is.
I want to say quickly, it's the NXT thing now. I think you have to kind of relate it to ECW. In a sense, because what goes over huge there when you see guys like that brought up to like WCW or WWE, it's a bigger pond.
It's not just a bigger pond; it's a different audience.
Well, not just like that. It's like
the
like
audience is an indie audience.
I know exactly, but it's
so they responded to the gimmicks a little better than the WWE.
Yeah, so it's like the Adam Rose, who they thought too was, which I love the way they present him in NXT. Over here, it hasn't translated. Even though I still love the gimmick, it hasn't translated to the big stage as well.
The WWE for years has been telling people they're entertainment, they're not wrestling. Well, they got what they wanted. Their audience is an entertainment audience. It's not a wrestling audience. Yeah. They're Kim Kardashian. They're Coca-Cola. They're not wrist locks and hammer locks. They're not there to see a Catch as Catch Can classic. They're here to see a bunch of hot chicks. They're here to see a bunch of cool moves, and that's pretty much where it begins and ends.
You made me think of something, Mr. Orsini, and that's something I actually wanted to quickly dive into, is that do we think, I've been seeing week after week, and I've been talking to some people, and I think that it may be happening where we're going to see that PG rating, which we just mentioned before, kind of segue a little more to PG-14. I don't know when they're going to do it, but I feel with a lot of the B-bombs being dropped, a lot of, let's just say that whole Dolph Ziggler, Layla, Fandango angle with Summer Rae, that doesn't seem like kids' TV to me. And not to mention, they're showing more blood, like Randy Orton, for example. Not that they could really hide that, but I see a lot more suggestive themes going on. I think that we're going to see more PG-14 later on, which I wouldn't mind. Not that I want to see that, actually Attitude Era was very awesome. I don't think they have to go above and beyond like Shawn Michaels showing off the, the goods there.
Smuggling the bananas.
But you know what? There's a lot more adult theme these days, and I think it's slowly but surely going in that direction, me personally.
Well, you just helped me good segue back into now Monday's Raw. Speaking of, great angle with Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella.
Yes.
And that was a great PG, over PG-13 moment.
Right.
Which shouted about. Also, bringing up your point, Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt's locker room brawl, where you didn't need to show blood, but they showed blood later on, which was a great, because it helped showcase the angle, the way he, forcefully, they took him out in the locker room. And that's we don't need blood 24/7 like it was back in the day. But it shows a sense of realism, like, wow, these guys just jumped this guy, serious. He's not going to be back in the ring, tonight or maybe on SmackDown. So, those are great moments on Monday Night Raw. And, of course, the return of Brock Lesnar to face John Cena at SummerSlam.
You didn't say it right. It's Barack. It's like Barack Obama. Brock
Lesnar.
But yes.
The man who conquered the Undertaker streak.
In 21 and 1.
Along with Paul Heyman, who was the man behind the one.
Behind the one.
In 21 and 1.
There you go. All right.
So,
just making sure my arithmetic is together.
Very excited to see Brock back where he, belongs, and he'll be in there with John Cena. Hopefully, they build to a great SummerSlam. I'm very excited for what they have in the works. I gotta say, as a WWE viewer, I have not been disappointed. So, kudos to those guys.
Lesnar returns on Monday Night Raw. They set up SummerSlam, the worst kept secret in wrestling history. Cena and Lesnar. Is this a match that people are going to want to see in 2014?
Lesnar got a huge pop coming out. Yeah. He got a chance immediately.
Every time he comes out.
Yes, Lesnar's still money.
People want to see Cena and Lesnar.
Cena and Lesnar, I don't know, but Lesnar's still money. It's been proven.
If they gave us the match they had at Extreme Rules 2 years ago, then I think that's your main event. If they go back into PG mode and start doing all kinds of crazy stuff,
I don't think that's going to happen.
I also think it's time to give Brock the belt. I think Brock should definitely take it over Cena. In addition, that will, in my opinion, what I think I would like to see personally was a feud between Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar, which hasn't been done. So it'd be a huge, literally underdog story, because that's what Daniel Bryan's all about these days, even though there's the inspirational Bo Dallas. Daniel Bryan's a very inspirational figure, and I'm excited to see him return. I feel like him and CM Punk definitely add to the roster, man. The product is very different without them, and I hopefully will love to see them both back very soon.
Two really big problems now. Daniel's not healthy, and God knows when. And get better, buddy.
Yeah.
2, Lesnar wins that championship at SummerSlam. He's gone till at least, November, January? What do we do now for 2 straight months without do we give it back to vacant? Because he's a deserving champion, okay?
He's been the most dominant.
Yeah.
Even though he's lost 2 championships via Battle Royal, he's still a very top. He's a top contender. Is vacant. What do you do for 2 months or 3-4 months with no championship?
Pay CM Punk the big bucks. That's what you do. Dude, Punk versus Lesnar would be insane.
I hate to disappoint you. He stated in an interview when he was doing a red carpet for Access TV.
I saw this. I heard
he
this.
is, as of now, he is never, ever returning to the ring. He's happily retired.
But hopefully.
Taylor Swift song?
Yeah, I was going to break into that,
but it's okay.
We have to move on to the next topic. If we have time, we'll get back to.
We should.
But next, let's go back to the company that's trying to make a comeback again. TNA.
And you know what? I'm going to start this all off by saying I do enjoy TNA. I'm not the kind of person that hates TNA. I actually enjoy their product. It's just that I feel certain decisions and direction that they take is probably, in my opinion, not the best.
Well, we were there live for this actual taping.
Thank you, Mr. Jesse Goddard.
Yes, thank you. So we have a unique perspective, as well as seeing it on TV, of what happened that night. Impact, I think it was a good first start. I mean, they technically had a first start when they went back, I think, from the Philly, wherever they were in Pennsylvania. I forget the sign right now. That was
Pennsylvania. They were in Pennsylvania.
That was kind of their reboot, but now New York City, the 6-sided ring's back. You could see this.
Someone's not a fan.
Not a fan of the six-sided ring.
But
I like the six-sided ring just for the fact that that's what made them look different. That's what got them noticed in the first place, in my opinion. And I think it should stick with, like, if there was a way to get around it, stick with the X Division guys in the six-sided ring. It doesn't work for the.
If your problem was based on the shape of your ring, you've got some really, really bad issues.
It wasn't so much a problem, but they started out with the six-sided ring to stand out.
They started out with the six-sided ring. The six-sided ring came much later. Fox Sports Net. Fox Sports Net era is when that
very much first started way back when in the early 2000s. He is right. I give Mr. Orsini that.
The armory in that closet they had down in Tennessee. Yeah.
Then they transitioned to a six-sided ring. They got rid of it, brought it back, and honestly, I think it's a nice image for people flicking through channels in terms of something that stands out. I think I like that they have a lot of, household names. You have your Tommy Dreamers, your Jeff Hardys, a lot of recognizable figures. I just wish that the writing focused more on new up-and-coming guys. Because when I was looking at the roster, and again, not that I feel that a lot of these guys can still go. I like the work that I've seen from Dreamer, Bully, guys like that. But, even EC3, who doesn't really count as, he was in the WWE as Derek Bateman, he doesn't really count as a new, fresh face. Rockstar Spud is the newest guy on there, so the direction they seem to be taking is focusing on the established names. I just hope the writing becomes more interesting.
I think it's starting to get there. I mean, I like where they're going with Jeff Hardy away from Will, even though I did love the character, but it's great with that. The X Division is getting a placement back on the card. It's starting, and I think they're kind of, you can't automatically, because we saw WCW try to do a reboot, and that was another chink in the armor. So
you can watch them on WWE Network.
So they're slowly starting to phase out those old storylines. I think we can see the building. Not to give away anything, we can see the culmination of the Dixie Carter storyline, and the X Division is now starting to get a renewed push. A lot of new names are coming back, like a Homicide, Samoa Joe's back, Low Key. So. At least until August, what we saw, it's looking very good right now.
They have a word for what you just described. It's called pandering. Okay, they're using an indie mentality on a national television still. It started in Dallas when they got Devon Erickson there for no reason at all other than to sell that building out, which they did.
You gotta do, brother.
Which they did. Devon Erickson did, which is not a good sign for your current roster when you have to go to these local towns, i.e. in New York, and come crawling back to these guys that you fired for no reason and have a Homicide or a Low Key come in and draw the house for you, only for you to leave in a few weeks and go back to the guys you already have that aren't pulling in their own weight.
Orsini is referencing something that I actually hope they do dodge. You're alluding to something I agree to. That the roster, literally, TNA's roster from the beginning to end has had a who's who of Hogan, Sting, Booker T, Christian. You've had literally a who's who of guys. RVD. I can go on and on about how impressive over the years they've had their roster. Yet they'll bring in all these guys, have them on for one night. You won't see guys like that again for another year or so. Why? I don't know why they do that. I hope that they don't do that this time.
Because, in my opinion, that the guys that we're talking about are awesome. And that's not to say that, TNA doesn't hire awesome guys. Just what happens is that when you're awesome, you want to do awesome things, and TNA's writing staff isn't presenting awesome things, so it becomes a conflict of interest. I don't want to do this. I want you to do this. It becomes butting head. From what I understand on both sides, both the worker and the promoter, these were mutual, okay, we're going to leave. And that's why these guys come back for these shows, these one-night-only pay-per-views, where they rent out the Universal Studios for like $1 and a Caesar's Pizza, and then they go in and they do these useless battle royals. But at least your favorite stars come back. I mean, when you get pops for guys like Cassidy Riley and Mikey Batts and Shark Boy comes out and it's huge, you've got a problem. Yeah. I'm just TNA totally not aware of the problem that they possess. They have all the talent that they need to succeed. As you said in the New York City tapings, the writing's starting to come around now. They've gotten away from what seemed to have been the worst tapings ever about a month or so ago. And now they seem to be back on track. They have big matches. The Jeff Hardy, Bobby Lashley match that just took place. Team 3D looks like they're coming back now, at least temporarily. Round with the new Hall of Fame announcement was another travesty, because if I'm feuding with the boss, why would I even be considered for the Hall of Fame? Yeah. But that's another story for another day.
Different day.
Explosion.
But TNA's hopefully they'll stay in the path. Wrestling needs competition. So I hope for their sake, I hope the fans keep tuning in and show that you like where they're going in this direction. Support that product so there's at least something different and we can see something.
Absolutely.
I'm the battered girlfriend. I'm always going to keep coming back. I'll hit the doorknob 18 times. I'm never going to leave. But that doesn't mean I can't, complain and get riled up whenever I see something I don't like.
One last thing I just want to briefly touch up on is that I do like that they're cross-promoting with Bellator, who's seen an insurgence itself, actually. I'll talk more about that on the mixer. It's more MMA related.
Good segue.
But in any case, definitely, I just want to give a nice big shout out to Bobby Lashley. Hopefully, he comes through in his victory. He was fighting on September 5th, comes through on a victory, rather. And
by the way, another former FWE guy, Bobby Lashley.
It's true. He had
Future FWE Hall of Famer.
Yes, excellent match with Rob Terry. And, I'm very excited to see that. Hopefully, they collaborate more. TNA has access to such great resources. Hopefully, they take advantage.
It's just going to, before we move on to our final topic, it's going to be interesting to see the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. What happens? He goes to the Bellator ring. How does that? What if he loses to? I believe he's facing Josh.
He's fighting a very unheralded fighter. It's actually a fighter who's, I believe, 1-4 in Bellator. So he has a losing record in Bellator. He has a winning record in MMA. But he's not the most. He's 8-7 in MMA. So it's not the most. It's not a top 10 opponent by any means. Lashley also hasn't fought in a considerable amount of time. So it's a kind of fight where they're building towards Lashley coming through with a victory. MMA is unpredictable, so you never know. So it looks like he should come away on paper with the W.
See that? That was just a small taste. That's the mixer. You gotta see the mixer on YouTube on $14.95 Sports.
Thank you.
You have to. That was awesome.
This guy should pay the big bill. I love it. Why don't we work together, bro?
Hot tag for the mixer.
Guy. He holds all the spotlight. Him and his hate for Triple H.
But yeah.
Which is another thing we didn't touch on, and I guess that's another day.
That's another day.
You can't crap on that promo. No, you can't. You can't.
Anyway,
moving forward.
That's for another day. Finally, let's go to the independent scene. There's a lot of great independent shows coming up.
I'm a part of some of them.
Yes.
I'm part of some of these. You are part of some of these. You
we're
are.
all a part of some
So,
of them. $14.95 Sports is a part of all of them.
Course. Honestly, I'm going to be very excited. I mean, like I said, I'll get jumping right to it. A lot of great indie work, especially in the New York area, for all kinds of federations, all kinds of wrestling companies, coming out, showing the best. Huge shout out for FWE. That will be October 3rd and 4th. I will be there reffing 1, 2, 3. This man will be there announcing, probably doing some other stuff as well. And I'm very excited to be a part of it. Thank you, Vegas Fuel. I also want to give a shout out to VPW, Victory Pro Wrestling. They'll be on this weekend in Long Island. Great guys. I love to see them in action very soon.
Mr. Orsini, any independent topic you'd like to promote or touch on? Any big event?
Well, since you started with the NYC area, and that's where I live, House of Glory, which you can catch at houseofgloryonline.com. I am affiliated with them as an interviewer / ring announcer. I'm pretty much an all-around talent when it comes to House of Glory. They're going to be crowning their first heavyweight champion August 16th in Queens, New York. Again, you can go to the website for that information. We already did a similar show when we crowned our first tag team champions. Did the tournament in the same day. Young Bucks ended up winning that tournament, beating LAX in the final. Okay, that was a TNA dream match that somehow never happened. And on the next show, when we crown our heavyweight champion, I mean, we're talking about Ricochet, we're talking about JT Dunn, we're talking about Shane Strickland, we're talking about Jay Lethal. There's a whole mixed match. There's two of the best students in House of Glory in this tournament, so it's going to be a great show. HouseOfGloryOnline.com.
Yeah, it looks like a stacked show. I've had my guys fought Mark Queen. I don't like that guy, but he's a talented athlete.
And of course, my show, 2KWPro.com, on August 9th, is going to be going on in the Bronx. It's the debut show for the new company, so we're looking forward to that as well.
Looking forward to hearing and checking that out. Also, I do want to bring up biggest event I would think this summer in New York City area. Field of Honor taking place at the MCU Park. Ring of Honor taking over the TNA spot there.
Cool.
They're coming off their first live pay-per-view, which was a very enjoyable show.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I was very impressed with a lot of the talent on that show. The iconic team. Well, Matt Hardy's going back to TNA right now. He'll be on this week. But Mike Bennett, huge fan of Maria Kanellis, the First Lady of Ring of Honor.
Larry Legend, big shout out to that man. Great guy.
Larry
Short
Legend.
to the point. Larry Legend, you're awesome. Definitely want to give you a shout out, my
The only
friend.
one in my field I fear. It's Larry Legend. But we're cool though.
Larry Legend's a great man.
We haven't crossed paths yet. I'm waiting to see what happens when Larry Legend.
I have. I worked with the man.
I had an interview with the guy, and you know, he's a great gentleman, and he's obviously one of these. Wow, I can't even talk. He's one of the speakers, representatives of ROH and Sinclair, and it's great to see him in action, along with a lot of awesome talent. Honestly, a lot of these guys you see in ROH end up transitioning to your NXTs, your TNAs, your WWEs, and a lot of rich talent in Ring of Honor.
It's going to be a big event. Every championship will be on the line that night. Also, AJ Styles will be on the show along with Bad Influence. And I'd like to make a quick segue. Bad Influence will be making their FWE debuts October 3rd and 4th. Just announced, I'm glad I could break this now, just announced for night number 2. TLC match for the FWE World Tag Team Championships. We will be hyping this more. Why are you shaking your head at that?
It's too much awesomeness in one show. It's not.
Well, it's
fair.
two. That's why it's going to be 2 nights.
I have to
Two
take a
huge
mortgage
nights.
out of my home to go to this show and get, because I just want to bring as many people to this show as possible. All of you should be doing the same thing.
Very true.
Tickets are going
Fire
quickly.
Department to question whether or not we can run this show. That's how many people should be there.
I just got to say that match, man.
It's gonna be insane.
FWE World Tag Team Championships, and I'm going to hype it more and more. But Adrenaline Express, EJ Risk and VSK take on Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, against Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, against Tony Nese, who is the FWE Openweight Grand Prix champion, and Jigsaw. Phenomenal match. I cannot wait to see. I wish I could be on commentary for this man.
Double gold? Double gold?
Who knows? Who knows? And I mean,
Who's making this happen now?
hey, double go. What about the Young Bucks?
Yeah.
Champions all over. They
I just told you they won our hog title. They got the IWGP, or they had the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championships. They're literally holding not only every belt, but they've held them all at the same time.
They're the modern day Ultimo Dragon.
There's 2 of them.
There he
2
is.
dragons.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of the Young Bucks, those guys are very talented. You know, they've been everywhere. FW is going to be star-studded top to bottom. I'll be there, count to the 1, 2, 3, nice and cleanly. And AJ Pan will be there with his representatives. We'll see a lot of good stuff. I'm very excited. Definitely check it out, fwwrestling.com. You know, there's a lot of great on-demand. We've had a who's who. You know, I talk about TNA, but FW in its 3 on to 4 years has had a who's who of people such as Bobby Lashley, Rob Terry, Eric Young, Jay Lethal, Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer. I can go on, and it's going to be a doubleheader worth watching.
You're doing 2 days, right?
We're doing 2 nights, October 3rd and 4th, back to back to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
back to Brooklyn. It's awesome.
I guess we're almost just about out of time for tonight. Okay, so fun edition having our.
Go home,
Guys, it's that way.
We're getting on a good flow here. I like this new.
Let's get out of here.
But yeah,
It's our 2nd edition with the new format. I'm enjoying it. We hope you are as well.
don't be afraid to leave any comments, concerns, questions, qualms, whatever, inquiries, whatever you want to call them. We will be here to continue to bring you all the best wrestling talk.
And hopefully soon, now we have at least 3 of us here. We'll do our Hall of Fame edition soon, which we've been trying to do since January.
With the best bow tie in the business, the authentic Brandon Lewis, who couldn't be here today because of his authenticness.
And Joey,
be here today.
And Joey Yates, you're always on my mind, brother. Yes, my man, the originator of the co-host of the Hot Tag.
Yes.
We will be
wet hair in the business.
Yes.
That's right.
It's true.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again. I hope you enjoy the ambiance. We're going to be bringing this to you this summer as we're here enjoying the nice weather in New York City.
Right.
AJ Pan, AJ Orsini, Team Pancini, along with Uncle Steven, the ultra sexy Uncle Steven.
That's right.
Check me out, ladies.
We'll see you soon.